Welcome to the GrimFace community, a rising force for those who refuse to blend into the background, who reject the status quo, and who dare to rewrite the rules of life. This is not just a group, it's a movement. Together, we are building something unstoppable, something unbreakable. In this space, we embrace the truths others are too afraid to face, and one of the harshest truths we must confront is this: the more you achieve, the more criticism you will endure. This truth is not a possibility, it's a guarantee. Achievement comes with a price, and that price is resistance. The higher you climb, the more exposed you become. The more visible you are, the easier it is for people to aim their words, their doubts, and their insecurities at you. But let me ask you, are you here to be invisible? Are you here to live a life so quiet, so unremarkable, that no one ever questions it? Or are you here to rise above, to face the noise, and to claim the greatness that is your birthright? Picture this: a tall, ancient tree standing alone in an open field. When it's small, when it's just a sapling, no one notices it. It grows in silence, ignored and untouched. But as it grows taller, as its branches stretch toward the heavens, it becomes a target. The wind challenges it, storms test its strength, and people take notice. Some admire it, others see it as something to conquer, to cut down, to use. The tree never asks for this attention, but it comes anyway. You are that tree. The moment you decide to grow, to stretch beyond the limits of those around you, you become a target. Not because you've done something wrong, but because you remind others of everything they are not. Your growth exposes their stagnation. Your success makes them question their choices, their comforts, their mediocrity. And people will do anything to avoid facing their own shortcomings, even if it means tearing you down. Let's be real for a moment. People fear what they don't understand. They fear change, they fear ambition, and they fear greatness, because it highlights their lack of it. The more you shine, the more they'll try to dim your light. It's not about you, it's about them. But the weak will always disguise their insecurities as judgment. They'll call you arrogant, selfish, or ungrateful, not because you are, but because they cannot bear to see someone live a life they've only dreamed of. Imagine walking into a room with a blazing torch in hand. The room has been dark for years. The people inside have grown comfortable in the shadows. Your torch illuminates everything: the corners they've ignored, the cobwebs they've let grow, the truth they've hidden from. Some will thank you for the light, but many will curse you for it. Why? Because your light reveals what they've refused to see. That's what achievement does. It's a torch that lights up the world around you. It inspires some and threatens others. And the more you achieve, the brighter that torch burns. Criticism, then, is not a punishment. It's a signal. It's the universe's way of telling you that you're on the right path. Let's think about this. Do people throw rocks at a fruitless tree? No. They throw rocks at the one bearing fruit. Criticism is proof that you're producing something of value, something that matters. And yes, it will hurt. Criticism cuts deep, especially when it comes from those closest to you. Friends, family, co-workers. They'll tell you to slow down, to play it safe, to be realistic. But what they're really saying is, don't make me feel uncomfortable. Their advice isn't about protecting you. It's about protecting themselves. Remember this: airplanes take off against the wind, not with it. Resistance is not a sign of failure. It's a sign of movement. The winds of criticism aren't there to stop you. They're there to test you, to make sure you're strong enough to soar. Let's talk about the lion in the field of sheep. The lion doesn't concern itself with the opinions of the sheep. It doesn't ask for their approval, nor does it seek their understanding. It knows what it is. It knows its purpose. And it walks forward, unbothered, because it understands that the sheep's bleating is nothing more than noise. Ask yourself, are you living like the lion, or are you letting the sheep dictate your path? Every step you take toward greatness will come with resistance. Every goal you achieve will bring critics out of the woodwork. But what's the alternative? To stay small, to stay quiet, to live a life so insignificant that no one ever notices it. That's not why you're here. That's not why you're part of the GrimFace community. We are not here to blend in. We are not here to make others comfortable. We are here to rise, to fight, to dominate. Criticism is the tax we pay for greatness, and we pay it gladly, because we know what's waiting for us on the other side. Think about the phoenix, a creature that burns to ashes before it can rise again. Criticism, failure, doubt, these are your flames. They're not here to destroy you. They're here to transform you. Every insult, every setback, every sneer is fuel for your fire. Let it burn. Let it forge you into something stronger, something unbreakable. When the world tries to break you, remember this. You are part of the GrimFace community. We do not bend, we do not cower, and we do not stop. We rise, not in spite of the criticism, but because of it. Criticism is our proof that we are alive, that we are moving, that we are making waves. When criticism comes from strangers or acquaintances, it's easier to dismiss. But when it comes from the people closest to you, your friends, family, and loved ones, it cuts deeper. Why? Because we expect them to understand us, to support us, to cheer us on. But here's the truth. Their criticism often isn't about you. It's about their own fears and insecurities. Understanding this is the first step in turning their criticism into a tool for your growth. 1. Understand the root of their criticism. Most criticism from loved ones stems from a place of fear. They fear change, fear losing you, or fear seeing you fail. Instead of taking their words personally, try to see them as reflections of their own insecurities. Ask yourself, are they worried about my success changing our relationship? Are they projecting their own doubts and failures onto me? Are they trying to protect me in their own misguided way? Understanding their motivation doesn't mean you have to agree with them. It means you can respond with clarity instead of reacting with anger or hurt. 2. Set boundaries. Without guilt. Your path is your own, and not everyone will understand it. That includes the people you love. It's okay to set boundaries. You don't have to share every dream, every plan, or every step of your journey with those who can't support it. Protect your energy. When criticism turns toxic, create distance, not out of spite, but out of self-preservation. For example, if a family member constantly doubts your choices, you might say, I appreciate your concern, but this is something I need to do for myself. I hear what you're saying, but I'm confident in my path, and I'd love your support. Boundaries are not walls. They're guardrails to keep you on track. 3. Use criticism as a mirror, not a verdict. Even when criticism is hard to hear, there may be a grain of truth in it. Use it as a mirror to reflect on yourself, not as a verdict that defines you. Ask, is there something I can learn from this? Does this feedback highlight a blind spot I hadn't considered? If the answer is yes, take the lesson and leave the rest. If the answer is no, let it roll off your back like water off a rock. 4. Reaffirm your why. When loved ones criticize you, it's easy to question your path. That's why you must be crystal clear about your why. Why are you pursuing this goal? Why does it matter to you? When your purpose is solid, no amount of criticism can shake you. Write it down, speak it aloud, and remind yourself daily. For example, I'm doing this because I want to create a better future for myself and my family. I'm pursuing this because it's my passion, and I refuse to let fear dictate my life. Your why is your anchor in the storm. 5. Choose your inner circle wisely. Not everyone who loves you is equipped to support your journey. That's okay. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, challenge you constructively, and believe in your vision. This doesn't mean cutting off your friends and family. It means seeking out additional support from mentors, like-minded peers, or communities like GrimFace that understand your drive. Remember, the voices you listen to will shape your reality. Choose wisely. 6. Turn pain into power. Criticism, especially from loved ones, can hurt, but pain is a powerful motivator. Channel it into action. Let their doubts push you to work harder, smarter, and more relentlessly than ever. Let every harsh word become a brick in the foundation of your success. When you feel the sting of their words, remind yourself, this is fuel. This is energy. I will use it to prove them wrong, not for revenge, but to show them what's possible. 7. Communicate. Don't argue. It's natural to want to defend yourself, but arguments rarely change minds. Instead, focus on communication. Share your vision calmly and confidently. Help them understand why you're doing what you're doing, not to seek approval, but to bridge the gap of understanding. For instance, I know this doesn't make sense to you right now, but this path feels right to me. I'd love your support, but I'll move forward regardless, because I believe in it. When you communicate without defensiveness, you maintain your power and keep the door open for future understanding. 8. Practice resilience. Resilience is your armor against criticism. Build it by embracing challenges, learning from failure, and growing stronger with every setback. Resilience isn't about ignoring pain. It's about letting it shape you into someone who cannot be broken. To build resilience, celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Reflect on past challenges you've overcome. Develop a mantra that reminds you of your strength, like, I am unshakable.